Can you hear it? It looks like. Oh, I just touched the wrong button. Right, so we're gonna pop out Twitch chat. That button. I bet there probably could be like a macro for this. Imagine using a macro. I would never. Pop out YouTube chat. Pause. I literally move thousands of items by dragging and dropping them. And I'm talking about using a macro to start stream. Incredible. Not that I would even know how to set one up. Okay. Transparentize. Unblind. Welcome in. I said 1.08 in the title, so I guess I'm playing 1.08. A little bit too high. Oh, I didn't exit Discord. That's right. Let me do that real quick. Get out of here, Discord. There it goes. Did I unblind again? Hell. Alright. So I think my thoughts for today, excuse me, is I was going to see what it's like to, like, can I get to Mephisto? And if so, can I kill him reliably and safely? And if I can, I thought I would try doing some Mephisto runs. And if I cannot, then I might try doing some lower Kurost runs. Hello, Paul. Until I get some decent items and a few more of my gear slots. Because right now, a lot of what I have is still stuff from like normal or early nightmare. Not really suited for playing in hell. Certainly not suited for trying to do magic find rituals. So. So we'll see. Alright, I don't need chipped sapphires in this version. Okay, so I need the spider cavern and then the flayer dungeon. Do I have the spider cavern on my map? That's the Great Marsh. That might be it. That looks like it's probably it. Okay, so left and then up. Naruto. Why don't you play on D2R? I play single player, and I have long-term goals for my characters, and have no desire to trade, so I don't really need to play on the multiplayer servers. And also, there's a lot of items that used to exist that no longer exist, which you can get in single player because you can play any version of the game that you want to, and you can't get them online anymore. And I like to look for those items and then use them in some cases. A lot of what I do is specifically in 1.07, where some of the items you can get are completely crazy. But a big part of it is my lack of desire for trade, because there is someone who is potentially working on a multiplayer server for old versions, and I don't plan to join it. So I do intend to stay single player and continue on my own personal goals with the game. Let's see. I don't want to fight him if I don't have to. The ultimate goal for me is making a Hurricane Druid in 1.14 who does not use Tornado and efficiently farms players 1 Ancient Tunnels. I was inspired by a video that Dobrunsky made in 2020 and have been kind of working on and off towards collecting overpowered items from older versions to use for that build. But in the meantime, I have made several side projects, at least vaguely related to the pursuit of those items. But this guy in particular, he's basically completely separate. I'll use him to get High Lord's Wrath in 1.08, which I do want for one of the guys that I'm making. But other than that, farming Stormspire does not help me. It's just an item that's very rarely been found before, and only even reasonably possible because of the infinite magic find souls ritual. But this guy just gives me an excuse to play 1.08. And there are some items that I can get here that I can't get anywhere else, like the 25% faster cast speed amulets. So yeah, I played on Realm as like an idiot child who did not understand. I played a Corpse Explosion Necromancer in 1.09, and who basically was actually just an amplified damage debuffer for the party in cows, and then I made a Hammered in 1.10, but I didn't understand what I was doing, and so they were both kind of bad. And they weren't like bad, but it wasn't like the Hammered in you're thinking of. The invulnerable guy that just mows down everything. In single player in about 2012 or so, I had a Blizzard Sorceress that I ran Ancient Tunnels with. And now I have a guy that I run 1.07 High Council. This guy is going to potentially run Mephisto for a while and then move on to area level 90 zones to farm specifically for Stormspire. And then, do I have anyone else? I have a guy in 1.06 who farms for rare rings by clearing most of Act 4. A barbarian using Whirlwind. And then let's see, my other main guy that I play is in 1.07. I have someone who shops at Elzix for Druid Pelt, looking for a +6 to Hurricane Pelt, which Larzuk could then give 3 sockets to. So it'd be 3 Elemental Druid skills, 3 Hurricane, and then Larzuk can give magic items up to 4 sockets in 1.07. But Pelts can only have 3, so he can only give it 3. I've never made a Smiter, and I have never done Ubers. Not even once. I haven't done Diablo Clone either. I don't use Pluggy, and so I don't have the Ubers. Nice. Are you able to move items from one server to another? Or if you have something on Asia, then it's stuck in Asia? Okay. And I do have some pretty crazy items, but nothing on this guy that's noteworthy. Whoa. Hello? He hit pretty hard. Okay, Gidbin. And I play right now, recently I've been playing a lot more than in the past couple of years. So I feel like I'm making noticeable progress. Like last year, so 2025, there was 9 consecutive months where I played 0 video games at all. Oh dang, he still has conviction? I might just have to run past. No? Okay. But this year I've been able to play a bit more. And what I'll do when I find the High Lord's Wrath... Oh, I don't want to fight those guys. Oh, especially not a magical one? Hello? And the 1.08 High Lord's Wrath has fast run walk and deadly strike. And I'll be making a Duriel runner in 1.10a to run quest bugged Duriel to farm facets. I need this curse to be gone. And so he'll be using High Lord's Wrath. I haven't done any like playtesting on Duriel killing at all. So it might be that my guy's gonna suck, or it might be that he's a bit overkill. Who knows? But I anticipate having something like 300 magic find on a barbarian that kills Duriel quest bugged, and doing about 20,000 runs. 200. Oh yeah. When I do the High Council in 1.07, I have to stack lightning and cold resist because the conviction aura that they have is a really high level, and it does minus 140 to all resists. And so if you don't stack a lot of resists, lightning and cold, then when they're lightning and cold enchanted, you just die. So probably similar in a way to, I guess it's Uber Mephisto's conviction aura. And so he uses a offhand sword that has a bunch of resists on it. 4 jewels. Yeah, I've seen videos of it. But not many, just a couple. I don't watch much Diablo 2. I mostly just play. And then very occasionally I'll watch a video. But I have seen Ubers. Many people don't know that you can leap through these gates, the fences. Yeah, I don't enjoy Diablo 2 speedruns, so I didn't watch them. I like some, speedruns of some games, like platformers, um, and some shooter games, but generally only if I have also played it. Um, and then, but like RPGs and stuff, or even like, ARPG or whatever, like Diablo 2, I don't really enjoy the speedruns as much. So, um, the only Wolfenstein I played is there was one that came out when I was a kid. I think it was just like Return to Castle Wolfenstein. And we had it on one of those white CDs that you got from like Radio Shack or Best Buy or whatever. And mostly I watched my brother play it because I was really young. So he beat it, and like I beat like the first level. And back then in shooter games, I was real bad about getting like spooked. Like you hear a gunshot or like a noise around the corner, and then I'll just like freak out and start shooting randomly. I got better eventually, but my skill level was basically a negative value when we had Wolfenstein. Let's see, this one, poison, cold, and what would I give up? Poison and light. I'll try it. Oh, like on PvP? The only PvP shooter I ever did was Counter-Strike 1.6. Let's see, now I need the sewers. And I didn't play like matches like 5v5. I generally played in a 32 player server. So 16 versus 16 pub games. I used to speedrun Super Mario World. I did a regular speedrun and also a tool-assisted speedrun. Well, I guess the tool-assisted speedrun technically wasn't Super Mario World, it was Super Demo World, which was the hack made by the creator of Lunar Magic to show the abilities of Lunar Magic. Like what it could do. Mario scroll to the left. I don't think I know what that is. Is it where you start at the exit and the exit is the beginning? Or is it where the screen is always to the left? Ah. Let's check this bone wand. Yeah, I think it's like Valley of Bowser 2 becomes really difficult there because of the sandbar. So like you are forced to clip through the floor or die. I played some games as a kid that I liked the story, like some RPGs. But that might simply be because I was a kid and games were fun, not necessarily because the stories were good. Final Fantasy Legends 2 had some interesting ideas, and then... Why is my attack so slow? I played the full storyline of Chrono Trigger. Hmm. Let's see, what other games did I play that I liked the stories of? We didn't play. Oh, Fallout 2 and Morrowind, both of those major classics in my opinion. I didn't have Fallout 1. My brother bought Fallout 2 from the the $5 game bin at the grocery store, and Fallout 1 was not in the $5 bin, so we just had Fallout 2. And then Morrowind was on a white CD with Morrowind written on it in permanent marker. And now I still own Morrowind. I have it on Good Old Games. But I downloaded a huge mod pack for it, Total Overhaul. And my laptop basically can't run it. It overheats. I have to put the draw distance like super short. And whatever anti-aliasing is, I have to set it to almost the minimum value. And then it's still like my... I don't know, is it the GPU or the CPU or both? They get up to like 80 degrees Celsius. And like the laptop starts to feel really hot to the touch. So I don't play it. RTCW. Oh, Wolfenstein. Okay. For a while, I was really enjoying Age of Empires 2. But ultimately, I stopped watching it because I couldn't find and there's not many options for commentators. And I don't know, I just couldn't get into T90's commentary. So I eventually stopped watching it. Also, generally speaking, the games are long and they start relatively slow. I watch StarCraft Brood War some. I watch the ASL usually, and then occasional games on YouTube, but not too much. Like casted games. And then for Counter-Strike, I only watch like clips, highlights. And then every once in a while, a speedrun will come out on YouTube for a game that I like to watch the speedrun for, and I'll watch those. Like Half-Life 1 and 2. Morrowind. Probably some others. Ugh. Yeah, Morrowind was so good. I tried it years later while high. Yeah, okay. It was just like so creative, and they didn't limit themselves on what they were willing to do with it. It's like, oh, we have this crazy idea and we want to put it in our game, so we're just gonna put it in. And it paid off. Something that I haven't done that I might do at someday, TM, is go through and read all the books. Because there's a lot of like in-game lore that I don't know simply because I only do like the storylines and don't read the books. Hello? Stop running away. No, no, no. Okay, that works. And then you. I wanted the unique guy because you're going to drop full rejuvenation potions for me. Thank you. Yeah, it can be tough to find good games, which is why I kind of just play the same old one over and over forever. I mean, that's not the only reason. I enjoy this game, but... And I have goals. Like things I want to accomplish in-game that I have not yet accomplished. But... But today's goal is to see if I can get to Mephisto, and then if I can, to see can I reliably and not super slowly kill him. And if so, then I'm going to probably start doing Mephisto runs until I get some better items for some of my gear slots. Might not be super efficient, but I'll try it. And since I don't have Ubers, I've never done key farming. And I think I would not enjoy key farming. So I'm okay with not having it available. I probably won't enjoy farming high runes either. And when I do farm my high runes, it's most likely just going to be from the High Council. But maybe, depending on what kind of charms I find in 1.08, I might try something else. But most likely it's just going to be a barbarian doing High Council runs with find item to get my high runes. Oh, I leveled up. Alright, more battle orders. One council member at a time, please. Thank you. That's more than one. Okay, the flail. Nice. Yeah. It's gonna be tough beating people to good quality items, but good luck. Unless you, or not even unless, like, even if you know life's the game for like the first week. I don't know how many bots there are on D2R, but I know there's a lot of people who still kind of do the ladder starts.
Yes.
So you have an uphill battle. Okay, that's too many guys. I think that's a reasonable goal. To compete with other ordinary people.
I need a key.
I'm curious. I'm gonna see what this item level is. I do want Durance level 2 waypoint. So I'll make sure I get that. Hello? Oh, there's baskets in the way? Are you serious? Hello, Rudolbert. Oh, nice. I was kind of expecting that to be, if it were me, I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna make this video soon. And then like 6 months later, oh, I still need to make that video. So that's kind of what I was expecting. So let me go ahead and repair. So I look forward to watching that. Which areas did you do? Because I would love to see Drifter Cavern, since that's the one I was specifically talking about when you mentioned it, but also just wherever you like to run it is good. Does that include like your lifer skillers, Atto? World Stone Keep? That's a good zone. Tough monsters. Alright, so we run through right up the middle. Cast the portal in case I die, and then see how do I fare against Mephisto. Okay, the Orb of Death did not one-shot me, so that's a good start. Definitely could be better. But my weapons aren't great. That's kind of part of the idea of maybe farming Mephisto would be to get better weapons. Okay. It does look like the enhanced damage here, like undead enhanced damage, because these guys, the Bloodlords, die so fast, it makes me think that the undead enhanced damage is multiplicative in 1.08. So getting a copy of Laying of Hands here would be really powerful.
What do you need?
Oh yeah, I wanted to... Too late, it's gone now. I was going to pick something up and then see what the item level is from Mephisto's drop. So let me check. What's the item level of this glove? The wrong here. This guy. Item level 90. Okay. So the monsters here, that was just like a generic Bloodlord. And I want a map with a good Mephisto map. There is life tap. You're not going to have it on many items. Let's see. Endurance of Hate. Is it here? Nope. So I am going to be extremely picky about my map. Well, not extremely. I'm going to be relatively picky about my map. Let's see. Is it here? That's kind of far already. I like down. No, that's too far. What about up? Also too far. And since I play in window mode, it doesn't stretch to the full screen. When I play classic, the resolution is like, let's see, is it here? It looks like this. And so I make the capture smaller, 640 by 480. So when I play in 1.06 or 1.0, you can't see part of YouTube chat because I make the desktop capture smaller. Yeah, this is good enough. . Let's see. Am I getting... No. Okay. Yeah, this works. Okay, and then
It's locked.
it's locked. Alright, I need a key. Trade. Can I? I cannot shift right click the key. Okay.
Hail to you, champion.
Okay, let me open this and see if it works. I don't know what all this is going to show on the screen, so I'm going to do add character. Let's see. Where even is this folder? It doesn't look like it's there. Apparently I have to actually find, maybe it's in games? Diablo 2, 1.08. What's this guy's name? OneToStormspire. Oh, save folder. Open. Add profile, name of your target. Hell, Mephisto 1.08. Okay. So we'll see. I previously had a run counter and it was this run counter, but it kept crashing. So maybe it got corrupted or maybe my computer just can't handle whatever kind of program this is. So we'll see if it crashes. And if it doesn't, then it just needed to be reinstalled, I guess. And I expect these are going to be extremely slow. Interesting. And I'm gonna do like this.
What do you need?
Not in town.
Hmm. I don't know if I want to touch this. just because of the clutter, I might skip it. Alright, have fun. Thank you for watching.
Hail to you, champion.
I'll probably be playing tomorrow at a similar time or maybe a bit earlier, but no guarantees. But yeah, I should check the item level. I think it's gonna be 90. Thank you.
Good day.
Okay, let's see what is the item level of this Grand Charm. 90. Okay, same as the Bloodlords. That's what I thought, that he was dropping item level 90 here. Good to know. Let's go see, what do I have here? Anything? Not really. Just checking if there's a, like a armor rack or anything. Nah. So these runs, I know they're really slow. The run counter is just for the total, not for the run speed. I can see, like, after 100, have I found anything useful? After 1,000, you know, if I liked what I found after 100, then have I found anything useful? And if not, then I'll just do the very tedious task of getting infinite magic find manually for the first time until I have better items.
What do you need?
Hmm. So far, I would say vaguely promising. Like every 2 or 3 runs, I get a unique.
What do you need?
The experience is not terrible, all things considered. After this run, I am gonna go refill my drink. Oh yeah, I'll be right back. All right. Drink acquired. Hello, Rockforge. That's right. Um, there's a thing I do when I'm doing shopping. In 1.07, I shop the pelts from Elzix, where instead of like, oh, one more shop window or oh, one more pelt, I'll say 10 more before the last one, because everyone knows one more whatever doesn't actually work. but 10 does. And so then I count to 10 and then I stop. So similar thing just happened, but different. I almost died. Last time I did 1.08 Mephisto runs was
What do you need?
15 years ago, 14 years ago. And after 200 runs, I had found High Lord's Wrath. And also Mara's Kaleidoscope. Which is not really good in this version. It always gets the minimum resists. And I think it only does +1 to skills. And one of the people that I know who has the suspicion that a map has preference for item bases took that as evidence. 200 runs, I got 2 nice unique amulets, and he was like, see, maps have item based preference, and I don't think they do, but who knows. Nope. High Lord's great. I'm not farming Mephisto specifically for High Lords right now, but High Lords is one of the things that I want this guy to eventually find, because it has 30 fast run walk and then deadly strike based on character level instead of 30 attack speed and deadly strike based on character level. So it'll be good for my 1.10a Duriel runner with the deadly strike and the run walk. Since he's going to be whirlwind, he doesn't need the attack speed. Yeah, well, he doesn't like have any hard proof or anything. It's just one of those superstitions that you get after playing a while. Kind of in a similar way to people who are like, oh, if you put more town portal scrolls in the tome, then the cow level has higher density. In a similar way, he believes that maps have ice or item based preference. Or not necessarily believes, but suspects, maybe. One of the things that I plan to do very long term is when I start grailing in 1.14 sometime in the distant future. Any good? 2 barbarian. Yeah, it's not terrible actually. Level 67, I'm almost there. I lose attack rating and life steal and attack speed. That's a big loss. I'll hold on to it. Let me try Gore Riders, actually. Oh no, I probably need the resist. Never mind. And so when I start grailing, I will keep track of either every unique and set that drops, or I might only keep track of every TC87 and just like count them. And then once the grail is completed, just do a chi-square test on the results and see if anything showed up way more often than could reasonably be expected, or less often. So doing an entire grail on one static map in 1.14. Now I know different versions have different ways that they treat item generation, so that doesn't necessarily, if it is appears to be random. That doesn't preclude the possibility of lack of randomness in older versions. Okay, and after this one, I'll check if it dies an X spot. No, it is not on that. So I don't have to worry about dupes here. It's going to be different items every time.
Greetings.
There may be like you know, if it dies an X spot, then likelihood of this base increases, but I don't think so. That's the kind of thing that he thinks might be happening, but I don't think that's happening. And I know for sure it's not like classic, you know, the very old versions where, you know, you killed the thing in the same spot after the same amount of time from the monster spawning and you get the same item. That is not a thing here at all. And then the racks do not drop dupes. They do drop, you know, they will drop the same base if the same monsters spawn nearby. That's an oversimplification, but generally right. So racking works the way that you think racking works here. Let's see. Average runtime, 1 minute. Oh, that's actually like faster than I would have guessed. I think way back in the day when I had my guy specifically tuned to do 1.08 Mephisto runs, I think he was doing like 20-second runs or like 22 seconds or something. Yeah, the racks, you know, racking works in 1.08 the same way that it works in 1.07, except that uniques have 1 in 800 chance in 1.08, whereas in version 1.07 they have 1 in 1000 chance. So getting uniques is easier here.
Hail to you.
One thing I find that I learned yesterday from Shrimp, which is not surprising that it's a thing, but I just learned it. AI, like chatbots, read YouTube transcripts to learn. And I was thinking about that because when I'm talking about, oh, this happens in this version and this happens in this version, it's very common for me to say, like, out loud which version each thing that I'm talking about happens. And so in that way, the AIs will become much more accurate with time travel information the more they read my live streams.
What do you need?
They'll still probably be wildly inaccurate for a long time, though. It's a very niche information. Yeah, I don't do the double equip bug in 1.07. I follow the rule set from the Pure Diablo forum, previously diabloiii.net, previously diabloiii.net, and they specifically ban the double equip bug. But there is still, for whirlwinding, the offhand weapon is simply a stat stick rather than needing damage on it, and that opens up some interesting possibilities for your offhand.
Not here.
Steel goad. So mine has amplified damage on attack. I think it's 3 combat masteries. I wanted like 2 barbarian, but whatever. And then 4 sockets from Larzuk. And then cold and lightning resist jewels in the sockets. But yeah, the reason he mentioned that, like, oh yeah, you know, they just read your transcript and that's how it's learning, is a guy who comes in here sometimes, Blaine. He had asked an AI, hey, what would be a good Martel de Fer for my 1.0, or for my classic Diablo 2 Barbarian? And the one that it told him was almost an exact replica of one that I have. And I was like, it's just using my mace to tell you.
What do you
And so I must have read out loud the stats on it at some point. And that's the only, or one of the very few examples of stats on a Martel de Fer that it has available. And so it was like, oh, this one must be the good one. It did make up the enhanced damage numbers. Just like, oh, you know, like 380%. Which is not the case. And then, what's it called? But yeah, I used to trade, like, on Pure Diablo. They have single-player trading, which is why they have a lot of rules. Like, here's our rule set if you want to trade with us, and if you want to, it doesn't really happen, but if you want to do multiplayer games with us, like on LAN, then these are the rules that you must follow in order to trade with us. And so that's the rule set that I follow. But I don't trade anymore, and I haven't for like 5 years. And I traded very briefly at the beginning of this starting over of my stashes. So in like 2010 to 2012, I traded freely and often. And then I stopped playing for like 8 years. And then in 2020, I started, and I was doing a little trading, but I kind of stopped relatively early on for a couple of reasons. The trade pool for time travel items is very small. Like, barely anybody plays these versions. And the items that I was trading for were consumables, and so they don't have item ID fingerprints. I just wanted sapphires. Like, literally, all I wanted, 90% of what I wanted was just sapphires. And so it's really easy, if someone were unscrupulous, to simply dupe them infinitely without really having any way to know. It's like, well, I don't really want that. I'll just find all of my own stuff. And so here I am, 6 years later, still having not found 90% of the stuff that I'm trying to find. But I'm making progress. Copium. Oh, that's why yeah, when I do that, it messes up my run counter. Whoops. Duh. No wonder my average run time is 1 minute. But yeah, it's just like, it was literally like 2 other people that I had available to trade 1.07 items with. And I'd be like, hey, I want 1,000 sapphires. And they'd be like, well, I have 40. Do you want 40? I'm like, yeah, I'll take all that you have. So, you know what? If that's all I'm getting, I'll just find my own. And then I don't have to consider whether I trust the people that I'm trading with. It's not a factor at all because I'm no longer trading. This guy in particular, he's going to find all of his own equipment. Stuff that he finds, I will use on other characters, but I will not use stuff found on other characters on him. And so I'm trying Mephisto runs to see how they feel. Do I feel like I'm getting a decent item occasionally or not? How long does it take? Does it feel worth it? How's the experience? And if I like it, I'll keep doing it. And if I don't, this is not his end goal. Mephisto is not his ultimate target. He is eventually going to be farming zones that can drop TC 90 items so that he can find Stormspire, the unique Archon staff. Made in Javelin.
Hail to you, champion.
Of which very few have been found before. Using the infinite magic find from the souls, you stack them up for about 2 hours to get like 250,000 magic find. And then trash mobs will be forced to attempt to drop uniques. And then with the mobs only dropping uniques, Stormspire is more rare than Tyrael's Might is now. So simply getting an Archon staff to drop at all is more rare than Tyrael's Might. Or at least that's what I was told. And I chose to believe it. I know someone who did like over 300 full clears of all the TC 90 zones and did not find it. And then another guy who did find it did like over 100 full clears of the TC 90 zones with find item and on players 8 drops.
Hello.
So pretty rare. And then before Infinite Magic Find was known, so if you're just like killing monsters and hoping to get Stormspire, then it would take like multiple human lifetimes of continual play to get one on average. Like, for example, Pendleskin is not the best chance to drop it, but he's relatively easy to farm. If you're assuming like 20-second, or I think it was like 25-second Pendleskin runs with 50% find item and no infinite magic find. Let's see. No, I like mine better. Then it would take about 104 years of gameplay to drop Stormspire.
Greetings.
By comparison, the next most rare unique, Wind Force, would take 42 days of continual gameplay. So, pretty rare.
What do you need?
In general, probably, yeah, but also, if there were a lot of people playing, then, you know, some people would have just found one. Oh, hello, Big City Man RQ2. Thank you for the daily advertisements for where I can buy fake viewers. See you tomorrow. Botted or duped? Yeah. You wand. Wow, look at that thing. What is this garbage? Hello, Vexor. Incredible.
Not in town.
Meh, meh, meh. I wonder if it would be worth it just for the extra life steal. Yeah, that's like, who even made that? Call up the game designers and be like, what is this garbage? Why did you put this in the game? You wand. Let's see. Is that normal or exceptional? Where is a wand? Petrified. So it is normal. Interesting. Yeah, I was just making sure you weren't mixing it up with some other item in normal or in classic. How was it? Not horrible item. Looked mildly interesting, at least. Let's see. If I get a couple of nice item slot upgrades, I think these runs will start becoming much quicker. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to drink a potion so I don't die. Yeah, I think someone had said Silvio, who doesn't watch me, but he's on the Pure Diablo forum, had said that he farms, I think it was the sewers, specifically, like the Act 2 sewers, um, to try to find Maelstrom that you want. Because only, monsters only drop certain item bases. Or maybe it's that I think it's that both zones and monsters each only drop certain item bases, and that's one of the places that you can get U wand is the sewers. But I don't know. I have no desire to grail in classic, so I don't look for it. And if I see it on the floor, it stays on the floor. Oh yeah, potion. And you can try the infinite magic find in 1.0, but I think my experience with it was that the magic find wears off after about 15 to 20 minutes, so not terribly useful. Whereas in 1.06, it persists long enough to, clear all of Act 4 at least. I don't know how long it lasts, but it lasts plenty long. Yeah, I got a guy. What was this? Pilot. Oh. I got a guy to level 92, and I'll eventually get another guy to level 92. And the only purpose there is to be the appropriate level to gamble amulets to get 2 class skills. That doesn't mean I'll actually do it. 3 stream watch streak. Oh, I got the longsword again. Or no, last time was broadsword. Longsword is new. Uh, 87 is the minimum level that they can spawn. I don't know. Actually, maybe I do know. Or rather, it would be trivial for me to find out. If the gambling is like character level plus 0 through 5, or if it's just character level plus 5. But I believe it's plus 0 to 5. And so 92 guarantees that they can spawn plus 2. Doesn't guarantee that they will, only that they can. Whereas 87, it's possible. They are able. And it's not too difficult to reach level 92, honestly. If you're willing to do a little bit of tedious, repetitive grinding. 91 to 92 took 8 hours. I don't know that there's -4 in Classic, but I would have to look. And by look, I mean go look at my boots. Not here. 2 paladin. If it's -4, then I guess I would need to get my guy to level 96. And that does sound horrible. See, I don't like doing the maggots because they stop making babies. And it's just like, well, the guide said I could get infinite maggot babies, but actually I just get a lot. And so I do Erdar runs on players 1. Isual runs, and then once reaching level 82, then Erdar runs. Longbow.
Greetings.
About to level up. -5 to +4. I wonder, is that also true in Classic? Because having to get level 97... Because it's item level 92 for the +2 skills, right? I feel like that's right. Ooh, it's blue. Oh, I leveled up. More battle orders. Oh, I don't even do that. I mean, I don't know how many times I reset the map. But I just waited until I got a pack of Erdars. A champion unique pack that spawned... What's it called? That just spawned right next to the River of Flame waypoint. It didn't take super, or I don't remember it taking super long. My idea of super long and average idea of super long might be a bit different. I did over like 24 hours, probably, certainly more than 20 hours of rolling maps to finally get laying of hands. Bramblemith's rack. That was a lot. That was kind of more than I was expecting. Level 90. Well, it wouldn't be the first time that I've confidently said things in videos that was factually incorrect. And also easy to check. Wah, wah, wah. Yeah, it was nice on my when I used my Balrog skin rack in 1.07 to get gold for shopping. It was like you know, I got the map and I did a few runs just to get some gold. And then, like, the next time I played when I was shopping, it was like the second run. I was like, hey, here's Arcane's Valor. You're welcome. And I was just like, oh, alright. Cool, I guess. Yeah, I put it on my console runner, and I decided that I do like it better than the Gladiator's Bane for him. When he put it on, his life before battle orders was more than previously his life after battle orders was. So a significant increase in his health pool. Spiked shield. This is probably going to be trash. Swordback hold. 50% open wounds. Yeah, I don't ever use, like, open wounds. In my mind, that's a PvP thing, and also I don't do Ubers, so... It's like, if it's taking me long enough to kill the monster that open wounds matters, then I have other issues with the build. It would have been funny if Berserker's set was Berserker's set. That would have been amazing. If you don't know, the Berserker axe is called Berserker axe until, I think until 1.10. Legendary War Gauntlets? Oh, gauntlets. Interesting. I don't think I knew that. I do think it's funny that the war boots, which are like solid metal, make the soft leather sound when they drop on the floor. Heavy boots, heavy boots, heavy boots. Heavy boots. And you thought Duriel with his town portals was bad. Look at Mephisto with his heavy boots. Oh, I wasn't paying attention to what I saw the one did 39 fire res, but I have lightning and cold on my boot, and then I think 20 run walk. And so I keep it for the resist. If I thought that I didn't need the resist, then I would use Sanders for the 40 run walk.
What do you need?
Until I found either like Immortal King or Alder. Or maybe Natalia. Actually, if I find Natalia's mesh boots, I'll probably wear those. Instead of the ones that I have. Rockforge, are you looking for particular items in 1.0? Or you play that because you just like that version?
Hail to you, champion.
Gold find. What do you do for gold find? Because I touch the cocoon and sell the thing that comes out for 25,000. 25,000 gold every 11 or 12 seconds. When I tried that, the problem that I had was the champions sometimes spawn as a unique mob instead. And the unique mob doesn't really drop gold. So, like, half of the runs were simply wasted. And I really disliked that. I'm always too late. But just wait, if you think this is crazy, being too late all the time, just wait until I start looking for bail 20,000 times in a row. Yeah, the sword barb does one-handed sword damage, even with the two-handed sword. Andy has the bad range adder. But, you know, you probably know both of those things already. So you're missing a lot of your hits automatically because they're outside of the range. When I saw the diagram of the actual shape of the star and the star bug, I learned that the pike also sometimes automatically misses because the range of whirlwind is completely bonkers. It goes almost like to the edge of the screen on 640 by 480 and like real narrow at the end and then kind of like this. I'm drawing it poorly, but
Greetings.
it's like I guess I can show you. The range modder on whirlwind modifier looks a lot like this shape. Like it's really long at the end. So the pike also can automatically miss. Yeah, going through portals is instant as long as your computer can draw it that quickly and everything that's not D2R. 50 attack rating, cold resist 40, but I lose 39 lightning resist. Okay, what's that other ring I had? 30 lightning resist instead of 7. Okay, what's the run walk? 20 versus 20. 50 magic find, which doesn't really matter. 50 attack rating. I'll try it. I can throw away Sanders. I'll find that again. What lesson am I teaching Mephisto? Perseverance. Definitely not Griswold's lesson. Isn't that the name of an item? I have not played D2R at all. But I have seen the load times.
I can't carry it.
Greetings.
Like, I don't have anything against D2R. I'm not someone who's like, oh, it's garbage, even though I haven't played it. It looks like a perfectly fine and fun version of Diablo 2. I just don't need it. How do you wreck Mephisto? This is slow. Having said that, in version 1.08, his hit point pool is much smaller. And this is 1.08. Years ago, when I had a guy who was well equipped to do Mephisto runs in 1.08, he would kill him in 200 runs, he killed Mephisto with 2 whirlwinds 200 times.
Hail to you,
Never 1 and never 3. So you can get pretty... I don't need these. Oh, but I might look at this. Pretty fast. If you have demon enhanced damage, I think it will be multiplicative in this version with regular enhanced damage. What am I farming? Mostly I'm just here for the chance of item upgrades and also experience without really risking myself to much danger. Is it worth it to kill the council members? If it were safe for me to do so, yes. But it is not safe for me to do so. Yeah, I know. I remember reading about that rock forge that there's no... You can't do classic graphics anymore because there is no classic graphics for warlocks. But yeah, this is actually killing Mephisto relatively slowly. Because my equipment is not good. And I thought, but anyway, I thought I would try doing Mephisto runs instead of either racking or manually doing 2.5 hours of Souls rituals to upgrade some of my gear slots. What's this? What's mine? Oh, damage to mana, all resists. Yeah, I like mine better. And then the experience is not terrible, so I might end up doing this until I'm like level 80 or something. Yeah, I mean, I guess when I say that the kill speed is terrible, what I really mean is once if he had good equipment, he'd just like Mephisto would already be dead right now. So that's kind of like what I'm thinking of when I say that this is really slow. $17 to $18. Not quite it. And hello. Wait, did it say you've been here before? It didn't say you're a first-time chatter. I don't recognize the username, but welcome back, apparently. Yeah. Yeah, there's someone who comes in here and is like, hey, I'm doing my 1.0 boson. What advice do you have? And basically, I'm always just like, play something else. How can I kill Diablo faster? You can't. And it feels bad giving those kinds of answers. Your build is garbage and it's not your fault. Yeah, and I think I read that Crushing Blow does not work on bosses in Classic, and you know, it kind of felt that way when I put on Goblin Toe to go versus Isual, because it didn't really feel like I was killing him any faster. It was still taking like 20 whirls or whatever.
Greetings.
The best item I found in 1.08. So, recently or ever? Ever, I would say High Lord's Wrath. Recently, I did a bunch of crafting, and I have, well, crafting, cubing, and I have Dwarf Star with resists. It's not good, but it's mildly interesting. Other than that, I haven't really found anything good in 1.08 because I haven't played it a whole lot yet in this version of my stashes. Let's see, Grand Scepter. Yeah, this guy that I'm playing right now will find at some point High Lord's Wrath, and it will be used on my 1.10a Duriel runner. But ultimately, this guy's purpose is to find Stormspire, the unique Archon staff. And along the way, he'll find every other unique. No, nothing like I said, I haven't played enough in 1.08, you know, in the last 5 years, or at all, like recently, to find anything good. I played a lot of 1.07, and many of the uniques there are the same as here, but not everything. Some of them have slight differences. Also, some of the set items have slight differences. Okay, so yeah, you have confirmed that Crushing Blow does not work on bosses. Back then, yeah. Madness. When I did find High Lord's Wrath, it was after about 200 Mephisto runs, which is why I did 200 Mephisto runs. I found High Lord's Wrath, which was the goal, and then I stopped. And then I gave away most of my good items. This was in like 2012. And then I didn't play Diablo 2 for like 8 years. When I set out to use Mephisto as the source of High Lord's Wrath, I was expecting that it could take up to 20,000 runs. And after 200, he dropped it, and I was just like, oh, okay. Because based on drop calculators, it could take 20,000 runs. What did you do with the rest of the 20,000 runs? I left them unran. Now we're 72 runs in to the other 19,800. Except the run counter is inaccurate. I'm off by probably 3 or 4 already.
Greetings.
The other 19,800 are going to be Duriel runs in 1.10a instead. How's that? To get 107 facets. I guess now that I'm wearing Saigon's boot, I might be able to wear that circlet instead of this hat. Then I do lose a lot of attack rating. Let's see, 5376. Wow, less than half. It's a pretty significant drop in attack rating to put on this. Maybe if I, well, never mind. I was gonna say, once I get Ariad's face, then I can wear that circlet. I was like, wait, no, then I'd be wearing Ariad's face. Duh. Yeah, the thing that I was more interested in from it wasn't the damage, but the life.
What do you need?
Razor time. Okay. So will I reach 100 runs or will I level up first? Well, 100 runs on the run counter. I did try the 3 perfect gem magic item reroll recipe, and unfortunately in this version it does make item level 1. So rerolling charms will not be a thing here. Oh, I need to repair.
Hello.
How do I curse? Vile Husk has amplified damage on attack. I'm not sure. I think amplified damage does not work on physical immunes. In this version, it seems to be the case. And so the only way that I damage physical immunes is with elemental damage.
What do you need?
Not in town.
Oh yeah, potion.
Hail to you, champion.
And if when I end up finding Wind Force, I'm considering I might try to do something with that in 1.09, like a multi-shot Amazon somewhere. Like maybe Chaos Sanctuary or something. Or Flayer Jungle. But I'm not sure. I don't really know. It's like, what is it that I would be looking for there? Well, nothing really in particular. Just re-rolling charms probably, with the very vague possibility of getting a pre 1.10 Zod rune. So I think whichever comes second, either level up or 100 on the run counter, that's when I'll stop for the day. And then my typical stream length based on, average run time of a minute, I should be able to do somewhere between 100 and 200 runs each day that I play with this guy, until I decide he's high enough level to go ahead and move on. Because if I don't find any item upgrades, I will at least have a larger health pool simply by nature of being a higher level. And also better chance to hit monsters in general, which is a good thing. Lightning resist 40, but no run walk. Defense based on character level. And it doesn't boost anything else.
I can't.
Okay, I think I can get rid of those boots. Oh. Right, I forgot to take my potion.
What do you need?
I should probably start paying attention to see, is he even dropping exceptional and elite tier items? I haven't really noticed. Like, I don't think the treasure class is broken here, but you never know. Or maybe they just have low odds. Gladius. Alright. Confirmed they can drop.
You, champion.
This is a good one, like a good starter weapon. Starter, like mid-game weapon. I think I was using it, or like at the end of normal on this guy. Until I got Death's Sword. Or maybe I had like one on one hand and the other on the other hand, something like that. Yeah, I was actually just using that wand to attack with because of the high cold damage. Alright, I leveled up. More battle orders. Wizen draw.
What do you need?
So now I just look for my run counter to be 100. And then I'll be done for the day. So that's like 8 more.
Hail to you,
Alright, this will be the last run for the day. Then probably I'll be playing this guy again for a while, but who knows, I might end up doing like stash sorting and council runs tomorrow or something.
Greetings.
So thank you for watching and thank you for chatting. And that will be it. The run counter now says 100. It's wrong, but that's what it says. Average run time about a minute, maybe a little bit more than a minute. There are, I think, 3 quote unquote runs where I exited early. So yeah, basically about a minute per run. So I should be able to get, I guess 200 runs would be a bit over 3 hours. So that would be a little bit long for me, but doable. Yeah, it's not bad. Hopefully I'll be able to get some gear upgrades next time I play. I got one today, I guess technically I got Saigon's boots.